Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Olivet City Council meeting of July 9th, 2024. It is 6:30 p.m. We are in the chambers at 1140 Dillman Road. Madam Clerk, please do roll.
Mayor Waldman,
I am here.
Chairman Pro Tem Knox,
Here.
Councilmember Clark,
Here.
Councilmember Carl,
Here.
Councilmember Weil. Here.
Thank you very much. The next thing on the agenda is communications. City Clerk, are there any communications?
We had no written communications.
No written communications. Third is the city manager's report. Ms. Yackley, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All right, I just have a few items for tonight. The first is, as it is the first council meeting of the month, we have the Olive Crossing update. So I have taken the slide out about all of the infrastructure because that is complete. So there's no need to be redundant about that. I will say that Lot 4, which is the Clover, continues to lease up. So as you probably can't see very well, it is 77% leased, so 6% increase over the last month and 63% occupied. So again, people are coming to the Clover, wanting to live there, wanting to live in Olivet. So that is good for all of us.
Oh, what does it mean 77% leased but only 63% occupied?
It could very well mean that somebody has signed a lease to move in 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
And they just haven't done so yet. Next is Lot 3. Lot 3 is the retail commercial building, which will house the future Paris Baguette and as well as the Smoothie King. So they did in fact begin construction before the end of June. They put in 5 to 6 pier holes and placed the steel. They are currently working on the retaining wall along Olive. So now clearly not today because of the rain, but I have seen surveyors out there marking out where that retaining wall is going to go. They need to do that retaining wall before they really do more progress on the building itself. So we should be seeing, as soon as it, dries out, we should be seeing some additional work at that particular site. And then they are looking to get a letter of interest or letter of intent to be signed by a third tenant tomorrow. I'm not gonna hold them to tomorrow's date, just, people and business, but that is very positive sign that they are looking to have a third tenant there. And as soon as I know anything, I will let you all know. The Aldi has been very busy with construction. They also started at the end of June. They're also targeting an opening in early 2025. They have a pond now. With today's rain, it might be a lake. Part of what they did when they were grading is their loading docks are actually going to be below grade. So trucks are going to come in and they're going to, go downhill, and they excavated that. And so as holes do, it is holding water. So if you drive by and you see it, or if you get asked questions about it, okay, sure. Fishing pond, no, let's not stock it. Unless they fall out of the sky. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what it is, in case you get questions. All right, and I don't have any movement on Lot 5, which is the office building, nor Lot 6, which is the hotel. Upcoming events, we have coffee with the mayor. That is tomorrow morning at 5 Oaks with Christopher Parrish with Missouri American Water. He's going to talk about the water services as well as their lead service lines and their replacement that they are doing throughout, not just Olivet, but throughout the region. Also, Olivet Parks and Rec is having a photo contest. This is part of Parks and Rec month for the month of July. So again, that deadline is July 15th, which I believe is next Friday. It can be any picture that you have taken. It does not have to have been taken this year. It could be taken at any time in any of Olivet's parks or pathways. So feel free to enter. There's 2 kids divisions and then an adult division. So please submit your photos for that contest. The fire department is sponsoring a food drive for the month of July for Operation Food Search. As you walked in this evening, you would have seen the blue barrels. So if you have some pantry items that you would like to donate to Operation Food Search, please come on in and bring those and put those in the barrels. And then again, this is just everybody's reminder to sign up for This Week in Olivet so that you can get timely updates of things going on in the city. And then lastly, I would like to welcome our intern. He's with us this evening. His name is Tom Nauman. He's going to be interning with us for the next couple of weeks. He's a rising senior at the University of Missouri. He's studying economics, but he has an interest in public affairs and government. And so he called and asked if he could shadow me 10 to 15 hours a week. I said yes. And so he started today. He's going to work on reviewing our purchasing policy, our investment policy. We've got some sections of the handbook that we need to look at. And then we're going to put him at the front desk, kind of watch what happens at the front desk. So you get a real flavor of what happens in any city. I think you don't really get that unless you sit at the front desk. So we just want to welcome him. And then these are your upcoming meetings for the month of July. And that's all I have unless you have questions for me.
Does anybody have any questions of the city manager at this time?
Sure. It's leased at 77% and occupied at 63%. You're welcome. Anything else? All right.
Thank you, Mr. Nauman. Welcome. You are in an amazing, wonderful city, and you have excellent mentors to give you some insight between the employees of Olivet. So it'll be fun, and it's encouraging to see a young man or any young individual interested in local governance and economics. So kudos to you.
Welcome, young man. I hope you learn a lot. Anything that you learn from us, be sure not to share it with any other city. We're very particular about our skills here.
All righty, thank you much. We will go on to item number 4, monthly financial reports. Mr. Mann?
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Darren Mann and I'm the finance director for the city. And we have our a full 12-month look before we get into our audit, which will come, 4 or 5 months from now. So as we look at this full year, which is again unaudited, revenues are below expectations by about 1.2 million, and then expenditures below by about 1.05 million. So that's a net unfavorable variance of 156,000. If we look at that reserve policy analysis, that number negative 54,950, it means we were really close to breaking even for the year. We expected to be $101,000 in excess, and then ended up a little bit in the negative. That's pretty incredible considering sales tax is down quite a bit. And the real story there is mostly in staff vacancies. Some of the kind of plans and stuff that we had done in some of the budgets did not come to fruition. So that led to lower expenditures. And then of course, the late opening at Five Oaks put the recreation department about $282,000 below where they thought they would be in the year. Again, I mentioned the sales tax category. It ended about $1 million below where we thought. And we've been tracking that for the last 5-6 months. Those use taxes up 125,000 from expectations. Property taxes ended right where we thought they would, which is great news. Utility taxes mixed, but overall right on target, which again is something we haven't been able to say for very many years because of those declining telecom taxes. Parks and Rec, I mentioned the expenditure side, but the revenues also were slower due to the later opening at about $700,000. That remaining category, which is everything outside of what I just mentioned, overall right on at our expectations, which is good news for budgeting. The exception there was that license revenue, which ended up in the positive by $20,000 to $40,000, which is something we haven't been able to count on for a couple of years either. If we go to the next page, we can see our chart, which is a repeat from a couple weeks ago, but we're in the orange. We're just ending that orange line there. And you can see that things have been pretty bad for the last half of this year's compared to the last 7 years. I would expect the orange line to moderate in about that spot for the next several years. So that's what we've adjusted for in our budgets, and we'll deal with those as they come, because the page before you can see the reserve balance is pretty high. I don't have anything else to mention for that full year report. No new developments from anything we've been talking about for the last several months, or even from a couple weeks ago when we approved the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Mann. Does anyone have any questions of Mr. Mann at this time? All right, thank you, sir. We will move on to item number 5, the quarterly investment report for 2024 second quarter. Mr. Mann.
Good. We would recognize a lot of our investment report from 3 months ago, with the exception of a couple things. If we go to the next page, gives a full listing, and we don't really need to see the numbers all that much, other than there's kind of separated into three or four sections here. The top grays are $2 to $2.5 million 3-month rolling. So every month we roll about $2.5 million into another 3-month U.S. Treasury CD, and you can see you can't see the rates there at 2.25% to 2.3%, and so those are generating quite a bit of revenue for us. That middle section, where that's all white all across the whole rows, that is our that's our 12-month CD ladder. So there's 12 $245,000 CDs in there. Those have continually been renewed in the 5% range lately. We expect to keep that up for the next 3 months until we talk again. And then in the lower, you can see multicolored, but mostly the gray section, the gray colored middle columns there. Those are the CDs that we've been able to take advantage of a greater 5% or greater rate. Again, for the most part, there's a couple exceptions in there, but those were over 1 year, and those were to take advantage of rates as we saw them at the time. And then you can see that list grew a little bit as we over the last 3 months, as again the rates were favorable. It doesn't appear that that will happen again, but we would probably be prepared to do that. The sources for those longer rates are the 3-month ladders at the top. Kind of peel those off and put them down into the lower column. Now we do have one update, which is one thing we talked about when we were going through our budgeting, is to use 2 $1 million. I guess it really what it is the ability to generate an additional $100,000 to add to our budget to use as idle cash, and those are highlighted in the yellow right now. One was at 6 months, and the other was at 1 year. Rates we were able to achieve there at 5.36 for the 6 month, and then 5.12 for that 1 year. So we'll look for those to mature. The reason they're mixed up in that coloration right there is because they're in maturity order. I only have one more thing there, and then 5th and 6th from the top bottom there, you can see we got in a little bit. We're in excess. We're going to report at the end of the year, and Alan will probably come and talk about it too, but it'll be in the audit. We for 13 days we were in excess of our FDIC insurance, which is not allowed. So you can see those two Flagstar banks that are there. And that's my mistake. When we purchased that one in 611. We were able to, I noticed it the first of the month, we were able to sell that at a gain. So that's taken care of. We're no longer overexposed on that. And so I wanted to let everybody know that in case you noticed that we were over the $250,000 limit. So with that, that's all I have.
Does anybody have any questions with regard to our investments?
In that, in
go ahead.
that situation, Mr. Mann, do we have to pay a penalty or anything?
No, luckily in that one, we just closed it, but it was a rate, we bought it at, they were over a year, we bought it at 5.2%. Rates at the time on July 1st were in the neighborhood of 4.7. So, at Commerce Bank, they have they call it a secondary market. So somebody else took advantage of our mistake and got a 5.2% rate. So we, actually made a little bit of money. So that's not something we ever usually do. We almost always hold to maturity, but in that case, we came out okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, thank you, sir.
Mhm.
Item number 6, we are at city council reports. I will start on my right with fellow council member Maxine Weil.
I don't have anything to report tonight.
Pro Tem, Mr. Rick Knox.
I have nothing to report.
You didn't go to a park board?
No, that was before here.
Yeah, that was last time.
Oh. Okay. All right. Councilmember Clark,
I have nothing to report today.
Councilmember Carl.
Nothing to report.
All right, I think everybody's meetings are gonna be coming up in the next week or so. I also, the Planning and Community Design Commission was not, did not take place due to the holiday. And as the city manager reflected, everybody's meetings are coming up shortly. We'll have reports at the next city council meeting. Item number 7, hearing from citizens. I have no cards. I see no citizens out in the audience. City Manager Yackley, is there anyone online?
No.
Nobody online. We will proceed to item number 8, Public Works 6428 truck replacement. Would that be you, Miss Yackley? Okay.
In this year's budget, it was approved to replace the 2008 F-350 labeled Public Works Vehicle 6428. So as you are aware, we can no longer purchase vehicles directly from the state. We have to use their qualified vendor list if we want to use state purchasing program. And so Bruce has, Public Works Director, has been reaching out to different dealers. He reached out to 5 and 3 gave satisfactory responses. And one of them, Ruther Ford, actually has a vehicle on the lot. And so it is in the city's best interest to go get it while it is still on the lot. So we are bringing this forward to council's consideration to purchase the vehicle. It has been inspected by the city's mechanic as well as the equipment operator. They feel it is in very good shape. It will meet their specifications, and the only defect is there are some very small dents that you only see when you bring it inside and put it over very bright lights and have somebody point them out to you. So they don't believe that that is going to affect the ability of the truck to do the things that it needs to do. So we're asking that the council authorize the purchase in an amount not to exceed $46,502.
Does anybody have any questions like the one I have before we move forward with this? Okay, I do have a question, and I
Mhm.
think my peers are thinking the same thing. With the hail damage, are we getting any discount from that?
I do believe that it is a slight, discount, but I wouldn't say it's Paul's seen it. It's $4,000 discount.
So we're getting a $4,000 discount from the hail
Yeah.
damage? Okay, thank you, City Attorney, Mr. Martin. All right, with that, does anyone else have any questions with this before I ask for a motion to authorize? All right, I will entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to authorize the city manager to issue a purchase order to Rutherford in the amount not to exceed $46,502 for the purchase of one 2024 F-250 regular cab 4x4.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Please poll the council.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Councilmember Weil.
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Knox,
Yes.
Mayor Waldman.
Yes.
The motion is approved.
So, Ms. Shackley, this means that the original cost for this vehicle would have been $52,000?
That's what we originally budgeted, yes.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, we will move on to item number 9, Public Works surplus items. Ms. Shackley.
So there are a number of items that the Public Works Department has determined are no longer useful to the city. So one is the F-750 dump truck and plow, the F-350 regular cab pickup, and then a Toshiba eStudio, it's copier. And so we are asking that you declare these items as surplus so that we can auction them off as necessary.
I will entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to declare the Public Works Toshiba 2830C copier, 2011 F-750 and 2008 F-350 as surplus.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Please poll the council.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Councilmember Weil,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Knox,
Yes.
Mayor Waldman.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Item number 10, the approval of the purchase of a circular air PPE express drying cabinet and installation. Is this the fire chief? Oh, Captain Fain.
Well, good evening, Madam Mayor, council members, Ms. Yackley, Assistant Chief Tim Fain with the Alva Fire Department.
Sorry, Assistant Chief, my
That's all right.
apologies.
No issue. I get it a lot sometimes. I'm here to ask the council to authorize the purchase of a drying cabinet from Sentinel Emergency Solutions. Enter an agreement with Zimmerman Electric to supply the electricity to that unit and to enter agreement with IFS Integrated Facility Services for installation of the dryer vent to the exterior of the building. One of the most effective and efficient ways and methods to ensure the personal protective equipment is thoroughly cleansed and prepared for service within 3 hours is to have an appropriate decontamination equipment on site like this dryer. Currently, we have a homemade dryer made out of PVC and a dust vacuum, basically, for a wood shop that's made off Google. All right. The personal protective equipment is insufficient to prevent cancer. A wide range of substances can penetrate your skin through the barriers of the equipment. A wide range of contaminants. These chemical compounds are absorbed by the skin, all right, when your pores are opened in your hot environment and you're sweaty. Well, with this dryer, the residual carcinogens can be dried out versus being sent right back into the air of the PPE room right now where we have the gear. Whereas our gear drying equipment that we have, it just expels right out into that room. Whereas the new equipment would be then vented to the exterior of the building. The drying cabinet actually has a 10-year manufacturer warranty also on that, which is nice. Any questions?
As I was writing down lifespan of this equipment.
Yeah.
I will ask the lifespan based upon the 10-year warranty is basically the lifespan, 10 years?
No, I believe we could probably get more out of it than that, yes. I mean, in the capital, I think we put in there about 15 to 20, you know, with, depending on usage, actually. I mean, it's a dryer, it's a commercial stand-up, where you hang the equipment. It's like a closet, a cabinet, and you hang it in there and it circulates air throughout the whole thing. That's specific to the NFPA, standard.
Anybody have any questions of the Assistant Chief?
Assistant Chief Fain, how much gear can it take? How many sets of gear can go in there?
It can hold a total of 6 hanging garments. All right, meaning a set of pants, the liner, a set of coat and its liner. So really 2.5 sets total. Then you can actually put boots in this also hanging upside down to circulate, because we do get water in our boots sometimes.
And how long does it take to dry usually?
The new dryer is actually about 3 hours versus sometimes overnight, 12, 16 hours on the old one.
Thank you. That's all.
Mayor Waldman, I would just like to also include that this project is not only the purchase of the dryer cabinet, but the installation
The
of that
installation.
as well.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're not only approving the purchase, but the electrical that is needed and the installation.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your summary and the questions from the council. If there's no other questions, I will request that we provide a recommendation action.
I'll be happy to make that motion.
Sure.
I'd like to request the approval of the city manager to enter into an agreement with Sentinel Emergency Solutions for the purchase of a Circle Air PPE Express drying cabinet. Also to enter into an agreement with Zimmerman Electric for the installation of the electrical connection, and to enter into an agreement with IFS Integrated Facility Service for the installation of the dryer exhaust venting to the exterior of the building in an amount not to exceed 15,500. Is there an extra zero in there?
There's an extra zero.
Okay. I got nervous. I read it. Okay.
You did a
Second.
Great job. Motioned and seconded. Please poll the council.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Councilmember Weil,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Knox,
Yes.
Mayor Waldman,
Yes,
motion is approved.
thank you.
Thank you.
I
Follow-up
thank you for-
question?
Yeah, no, the follow-up statement. I just think it's really important that you brought this to us because it's not just for being efficient, but also for the health and safety of our firefighters and
Yes,
first
it is.
responders. So thank you.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Item number 11, hearing from citizens, part 2. Nobody in the audience, and what about online?
There's no one.
Okay, going, gone. All right, we'll proceed to item number 12, review and acceptance of the minutes.
I saw no changes.
I saw any neither. All right,
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we accept the minutes, city council minutes from June 25th, 2024, and the work session minutes from July 2nd, 2024.
Second.
moved and seconded. Please poll the council.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Councilmember Weil, Chairman Pro Tem Knox,
Yes.
Mayor Waldman,
Yes,
motion is passed.
thank you very much. With that, 6:59, we are on the city attorney's report. Item number 13.
Thought you were gonna skip me.
Nope.
Well, I have no report, Mayor, and no need personally to ask for a closed session, though I understand one is scheduled to have discussions with and among council about my replacement. So.
You sure you want to
appropriate-
retire?
I'm not really retiring. It's cutting back, but we need a motion for that. City needs personnel and also
That would be three from.
13, I think, contracts.
13, 12 or 13 for contract? 13. Okay. I will entertain a motion for going into executive session pursuant to 6:10, 3 and 12 and 13.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. This is a individual roll call. Please poll the council.
Councilmember Clark,
Here.
Councilmember. Yes.
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Councilmember Weil,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Knox,
Yes.
Mayor Waldman,
Yes.
motion is passed.
All right. Thank you very much. With that, we will be going into an executive session. We appreciate everybody coming. Thank you for your reports, and we will see you all. City Council is back from executive session. No vote was taken. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make
So
a move.
moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Motion adjourned.